Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. Everyone sick, make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing they only listen to Keyshawn and talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo don't make a kill when we talk about the Bills. Dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo won't make a kill.
Woo! Welcome back, y'all. It's going down. This is the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I am your co-host, Aramis.
Yo, and this is Key.
Listen. Sunday night is going to tell us whether or not this can be the season or this can't be the season. Right? But there's something that I think people are overlooking about this game, too. We'll get into that later on in the show. Stay tuned for that. Key, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, man, I'm glad you asked. You know, because I just wanted to talk about one thing. You know what grinds my gears?
Ooh, I like this.
You going to look at me strange. So, Cameron, put it on your other co-host over here.
Okay. All right, here we go.
You ever wash clothes, and then when you put your clothes in the dryer, you can't find the dryer sheets, and you just want to throw the whole load in the garbage?
So you take the clothes out looking for the dryer sheets?
No, you know how when you got to put them in the dryer from the washer, and you know you got to get the dryer sheets going, and they not where you left them. So now you got to run around the house trying to find this mythical
before
item.
You can start the dryer.
Yeah.
Oh,
because I can't walk around with stuff stuck to my lap. I can't have it. Your shirt be lopsided because it's clinging. You turn a light off, you see a little firework. Can't have that.
Okay.
I can't have that. You smelling funky because you smell like static? Nah. No static clean, my man.
I didn't know static had a smell.
Oh, it smells. You know what? Go put your face on a TV from like 1978, 1990-ish. One of them old boys, not an LED.
Yeah.
And just, that's what your clothes smell like when you don't put static sheets in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bad.
Right.
It's bad.
And that's what's grinding your gears?
Because I did laundry today. I found them.
Oh, okay.
But it took me a long time.
Let's clap that up. Found a dryer sheet.
Because it was going to be Ken walking around with a Gordon Gartrell. Anybody know what a Gordon Gartrell is?
Sleeve and
the one tight one side longer than the other. Not an ATM Murata.
Sticking to my collarbone.
Right, it's stabbing me in my neck.
Okay, well, listen.
That happened. That took place today, so that was right. That grinded my gears, but I fixed it. Christ is averted.
Yeah, nothing like being able to solve the issue.
Right. You want to feel right in your outfit. You want to feel right. You want to look good. You want to smell good, but you want to feel good too.
No doubt.
And you couldn't feel good without them static sheets, man.
Look good, feel good, play good, get paid.
Yeah, get paid. Well, you get paid something. I don't know what you get paid, but
okay.
It's better than the inverse though. Better than inverse.
That's very true.
You got there, please, sir.
Very true. Yeah.
You have any change?
Don't even get me started on those dudes. I worked at the city mission for 6 years. Don't even get me started on those dudes, man. That's a whole different world. And I don't even think people realize how many of these guys that stand on the corner actually got better living situations than most of the people driving in the cars.
Oh yeah,
it's bad. It's really bad.
That's why I hate when I come to that red light and they look you dead in the eye with the sign.
You probably got a bigger house than I do. Get out of my face right now.
And I'll be like this.
Like, I used to talk to dudes that went out and panhandled, had 2 or 3 cell phones.
Yeah.
They be chilling at the mission when they got 2 houses that
Ultimate
that they
hustlers.
own.
Ultimate hustlers.
Huh?
Ultimate hustlers.
Right. They just know how to work the system.
We got to stop cutting our hair. Stop cutting our hair and don't use the dryer sheets. Go out there, see what you can do.
You on your way.
Hey!
Oh, my goodness. All right. Football talk. We promised we would do football talk. It's not in the
title. Dude, we also promised we have a show on Tuesday. But after the happenings of the trade deadline, it was like...
Yeah. Let me apologize up front. That was actually my bad. So the area I live in, they have a certain set amount of hours for trick or treating.
Oh yeah, no, you're good.
So you
got key love the kids. Key love the kids.
But yeah, so that's I had to be there with my children and I didn't want my wife to be out there in the dark alone.
It was cold.
It was my daughter quit Listen, we went to this real nice area too. It like they had the so it was 2 streets that led into this neighborhood that was like surrounding a park. Like it was a triangular park in the middle of, you know, a bunch of big nice houses, right? And there's only 2 streets that led into this area. The police blocked off both streets, and like 80% of the houses in this neighborhood completely decked out, yards with Halloween decor, and like there was a house we went to. They was giving away free popcorn. They had the little popcorn machine right in the driveway.
That's what I said. They were with it. Okay,
right. They had that. They had the homemade chocolate suckers. You could just grab one and like it was lit in this. And like the decorations and like the people handing out candy had costumes on and stuff like that. Like it was the most movie-esque Halloween I'd ever seen in my entire life.
Did you hear about the potato?
No.
I don't know where this is. So if anybody knows the story, you can add in where this location was. It might have been. I don't think it was in Buffalo though. But how evidently what it is it's a candy bucket outside of somebody's house.
Okay.
And they put a potato in the candy bucket. Yeah, it had candy under it, whatever. But somebody took the potato. So it's like, what? So they put another one in there. And then somebody else took the potato. So they said they think about 40% of the trick-or-treaters they got took the potato. So the next year, people were like, you know, before Halloween, wait, are you the potato person? Are you the one from the potato house? Yo, this is a potato guy. So now it's an ongoing thing where people are like, are you going to put the potato out? So they take the potato. They don't take the candy. They just take the potato. I saw it this morning. I was like, what? I guess it's a thing. You know, it's a gimmick. I'll do that. Give me a sack of potatoes and just throw it in a bucket. Here, have at it.
Right. I'm gonna just put a squash out.
Yo, you be the squash guy.
Put a squash out. Yeah, right.
Hey guys, it's a squash guy.
Can you imagine going to the supermarket? Like, I don't think anybody ever buys more than one squash at the supermarket. Like, I'm just walking around with this big bundle of boob-like fruit or whatever it is.
A burlap sack of squash.
Right. What in the world is going on right now? Oh my gosh! All right, we gotta get to this.
That was fun. You didn't think I was gonna start it like that?
Not at all. It was refreshing though. I actually like talking about random stuff. That was cool.
New segment.
Yeah. Stuff we like talking about.
No, we got random stuff we heard and just regular stuff we heard.
Just random stuff. We got stuff we heard and random stuff. All right. I like that. Random stuff.
All right. So stuff we heard, which obviously everybody knows by now, the Bills have had some signings. They signed Leonard Fournette. Now they signed Linval Joseph, and they traded for Rasul Douglas. I was fine with Linval. I was fine with that. I was shocked that Kyer was still on the team. I'm happy he's still on the team. Beane said in his press conference, "We're not giving up on Kyer."
That made me happy.
That's what I like to hear. Yeah. That's refreshing. It's good. Now Kyer's got this ankle thing. Everybody texts me right away. What's that about? He really was hurt. And there's something nagging. I'm not saying that's why he didn't play. And they didn't say he was injury designated. The injury designated. They still say a healthy scratch.
Right.
But
it does lean into what we thought was going on with Gabe Davis last year,
right.
All year long, where he was dealing with an ankle injury. Mm-hmm. They didn't tell anybody about it, but Davis was pushing. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
you didn't find that out until the end of the year.
Right.
This was one of those situations, and Beane specifically said, we were trying to let him work through it, and he kept re-aggravating it, so we finally decided let's just sit him down, which is cool. You know what I mean? Cool. But it also gives an indicator that his play wasn't actually the problem the last few weeks. It was the injury.
Yeah, I mean, if it came down to like Josh Norman and Kyer, being active, then of course you would want to do Kyer. But if one's healthy, one's not.
The one thing the Rasul Douglas trade does for me is it makes me hate them less for signing 29.
Signing 29?
Norman.
Signing 29? Oh. What are you talking about?
Isn't he wearing 29 again? He was wearing 29 last time he was here.
Okay, that's not. Yeah. So I thought you were talking about 39. I'm like, he's not here.
No.
Which is funny because I don't know if you heard this, but people were speculating after the season he's going to come back.
Somebody was talking about that we should trade for Harrison Phillips.
Yeah, I almost threw.
No thank. Right.
I almost threw the weight I was lifting.
Right. Right.
out of a moving glass window. But yeah, you know how I felt about Harrison Phillips. He was like a 2 tech. He wasn't a 1 tech, but he really wasn't quite a 3 tech.
Right.
He was just
guy that
a tech. Yeah, he was
decent.
there. So
Right.
let's just not do that. Let's act like that didn't happen. But yeah, Rasul Douglas, I don't know how to take him. I don't know. Did you hear his presser?
I did not.
Evidently, there's a lot of crying going over in Green Bay.
I believe it.
He said he cried with was it Aaron Jones? They cried.
Wow.
He said he cried with 2 of the guys that at their houses. He went to visit them at their house, and they all cried together. I'm like, what? Even and the thing was, he said they asked him. They said, how did you get the news you were traded? And everybody texted me. Everybody asked me, why aren't the Bills? I said, just wait. They're not going to do anything until 3:00. 3:00, 4:00.
Right,
They're not doing anything. They always wait till the last second.
Yep.
And they're like, when 4:00, I said, 4:00 really don't mean nothing because the paperwork's got to go through and all this stuff. So it's got to be in, but it's not declared. So you could hear as late as 5, but they're going to do something. I didn't know what, but I knew they were going to do something.
Right.
But he did say, let's see, I do have a couple notes from this presser, if I'm allowed.
Oh, you are?
Okay. I just got to find my stuff here because I was not driving while I was listening to this and taking notes, but I was. Let's see. So Rasul Douglas said, did I not write it down or did I put it somewhere else? Anyway, I can go off the top of my head. He said, when asked about the situation and how he felt, he said, I mean, it's a little too early to know how to feel or want to be here or not, basically. He says, it's just like your first date. He said, I got to fill him out. They asked him something about his role and why he was down on himself and the team before he left. And he said, I was trying to get the boys active, trying to get them, motivated. He said, I was a leader in the team there, but that's not going to be my role here. I'm like, does McDermott know that? Does he know you feel that way? Because, he only wants leaders.
Well, I mean, I think I get what he's saying.
No, I know what he's saying. I'm just being funny with it.
Yeah.
But my thing is, okay. He had a moment in the thing where he kind of, I don't know how to say it. Basically, he dropped character in the press conference and said what's up to whoever was passing by and laughed with them in the background. I don't know who it was, but it might have been Micah Hyatt because no, they weren't teammates, but they both came from the Green Bay way of thinking. Yeah. But yeah, so I had a couple things from him, but he really didn't say much. He just said, the usual, the terminology is the only real difference, blah, blah, blah. Beane said, or Sean McDermott didn't rule him out playing on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So he may get a couple snaps in there.
Probably in the prevent defense.
Yeah. Anything sure prevent or some kind of base zone.
Yeah.
Jair Alexander he said he was pretty surprised when they found out he made sure he texted him right away. He didn't expect him to be gone, but as a vet, that's the NFL. It's a business. He said it was a reality check. He said, don't expect me to step up as a leader. He said that. I was like,
wow. So
okay.
He want to be traded too.
He's like, well, you really can't, but you can if you want to. What do they call him? Goody. The Goody was the GM. He said, he thanked him for the work and leadership. He said he came out of the blue, and the Bills actually called him last week, and he said, we're not doing anything with him. You're not. That's not happening. He said, but they called back and sweetened the deal and said something we just couldn't turn down. So I don't know what the deal was that they offered last time, but
yeah. What they get for him this time? They gave up a third round pick.
We gave a third of. What was a third and a third?
Yeah, it was just
okay,
a third.
just third.
Yeah, just a third, and we got Douglas and a fifth.
Yeah,
that's a win
for us. Yeah,
because we getting a compensatory third round pick for Tremaine Edmonds anyway.
I think what he alluded to the fact that he said if you could get a third and you can get a top 50 pick on their board, then it's worth it to him. That's what he said. So that's Goody, Brian Gutekunst, I guess. Mm-hmm. And he said that he's excited for the opportunity that the vacation leaves for other guys to step up into the role.
Yeah, I don't think Stokes is really lived up to his potential yet in Green Bay.
Yeah. Oh, that was the thing I wanted to. He said, I don't know if you. Well, I think we texted about it, but I'll act like we didn't. And see, I don't know if you remember last year when Josh was mic'd up and he said, "You effing suck."
Oh, that's who he was talking to.
Yeah, he was talking to him.
Oh my.
And so, so Rasul said, he said, yeah, man, I mean, it was all good. So we talked, since then. He was the first, I called him right away. He said, I mean, I said it to Josh a lot of times, but it just wasn't on the mic. He said, I told him the same thing.
So now we know they just tell each other.
They just tell each other, you effing suck, and that's it. Right. So now if we get Christian Wilkins in here.
Oh my gosh. Yo, it ain't gonna be no Leonard Fournette video when that happens.
Yo, I was so excited about seeing how this worked out.
Yeah.
I was so because I think I put on Facebook on the Facebook page. I never knew
there was a beef there with those two though.
They fought on the field. When we played, they fought on
Jacksonville.
Yeah, they got ejected.
Yeah.
They were throwing blows.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But evidently, he said, I actually have it. Somebody asked him. It wasn't a press conference, but it was like an interview in the field out there. They said, so what was it like going into the locker room? Were you like, hey, Shaq? he responded and said, what's funny about that, first time I met Shaq was last summer. Since we fought in 18, we just laughed about it. He said, we really laughed. I told him I won, but we laughed. He said, and somebody was like, yeah, I'm sure Shaq lets that go. He said, you know how quiet he is. He's like, yeah, Shaq ain't quiet, man. I know Shaq. He's cool as heck, but he ain't quiet.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that they can come to one accord and not hold grudges. Yeah. I mean, most men are like that, but some guys you never know. Especially if you got blocked from me. I don't know if I would trust you too much, but
well, thank God you don't have to block
right. Ooh, forgot. Yeah. Now we even.
Whoops, there goes your knees. My bad, dog.
Right.
My bad.
Right. So you were excited about the Linval Joseph.
I am excited about that.
I am too. And I know it's probably for two different reasons because I just need a big space eater. That's my thing. I just need a big space eater. And he fits the bill even at 35, 330.
Right.
He's going to take a double team and Ed Oliver is going to cook.
Right.
He is going to cook.
That's the main and the linebackers being saved.
Yes. Terrell Bernard too.
Joseph is a massive dude. 6'4", 329 pounds. He is every ounce of that. He looks it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a man that big being able to just take up two guys. Oliver's going to get those one-on-ones because one guy is not going to be enough to stop Linval, even at 35. This is what,
he just lean on you.
In his prime, he was probably the strongest defensive tackle, maybe only rivaled by Sue when Sue was in the league.
He'll just lean on you. All you got to do is lean on you.
Right. Joseph was just he wasn't just a massive guy. He was a strong guy, so he can hold the point of attack like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. This is a great run defender. Mm-hmm. And for the price point, yeah, he's 35, but 35 is different nowadays than it was back in the 90s and 2000s.
And you got to think about the position. That's the thing. See, that's the key, the position.
Yeah.
We're not talking about, and sorry, Josh Norman, I didn't mean this when I started this sentence, but I got to finish now. We're not talking about a cornerback. We're not talking about, Latavius Murray at 33 at running back.
Right.
We're talking about a guy who can hold the point as long as you can hold the point. And I don't know if you go to the gym, what do you see most older cats doing? Bench pressing.
Yep.
And squatting. That's it. They don't run. They never see a treadmill. They never see elliptical. They just bench press and squat.
They don't need it.
And that's what this dude is going to do.
Yep.
He going to bench press and he going to squat. Two guys hopefully at the same time. Ed Oliver, you better be licking your lips, man, because you about to skyrocket. You have fleeced the Bills.
You got defensive players in fantasy, you might want to go grab Ed Oliver at this point.
You fleeced the Bills because that contract is going to look very funny to a lot of people. Yeah. When they see what you do with this guy next to you. And that's not a slight on Daquan Jones because when Daquan Jones, if he comes back, you're right where you left off.
Well, according to Beane, we're probably not going to see Jones or Milano unless we're AFC Championship, Super Bowl, somewhere around there.
I don't want to see him at all, honestly. With a pec, playing a one-tech, I don't want to hear about Jordan Phillips syndrome.
Yeah.
So I'm good on that, especially if you get a guy like Linval Joseph. You get
yeah.
So I mean, it's this. Yes, guys, you heard it here first.
We just need to make sure we hire bodyguards for this dude, because any injury to this guy, and then we right back to where we was, square one.
Yeah,
like it's gonna be a problem again.
You heard it here first. We actually have positive things to say about somebody.
Yeah, but this isn't the guy that the Bills drafted. So
we got things to say about guys they pick up too. We got negative things to say about free agents and draftees. So we got positive.
That's true.
And we just somehow commended Beane and McDermott for making the pickups. Yes, you did.
I did. I'm not a fan of the Fournette pick, to be honest. I'm really not.
I don't care about Fournette only because he's a practice squad. If he gets called up, fine.
Well, I mean, the thought is he is the guy that's going to come in and take Damian Harris's position, right? And if that's the case, you didn't need him because Murray was enough.
He was enough. Harris wasn't getting carries anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And well, I think part of that was maybe he was still fighting through injuries and stuff like that and trying to get back on the field, and that's why he wasn't getting as many carries. Maybe they were trying to ramp him up, coming off of his injury. But even with that, Cook is still the number one guy. Like, if this was last year and we had Singletary here and we still had Moss, I'd probably welcome a Fournette signing at that point, because we needed a guy with a little bit of speed and a bigger size, right? But if we're talking about a guy with size and speed, we have that already. Yeah, he's probably not the shiftiest guy in the world, but 40 time, Murray is still probably faster than Fournette.
But I mean, for me, I think, to your point about Damian Harris, I think Damian Harris lost the position anyway. I don't think they expected Murray to come on like he did. I don't think that they expected him to perform in the spots he got.
Harris's contract was a 2-year contract, right?
Or, one year.
Oh, 1 year. Oh, yeah. So he's done.
Yeah, he's 1 year. They're all 1 year. So the only one we have on the roster next year is Cook. Now, Ty Johnson, was that a trade?
No.
Okay.
From the Jets.
Yeah, I didn't know if they traded something for him or what. But
yeah, he was on the Jets, but I think he was a free agent.
That's right. He was. You're right. That's right. After preseason.
Am I seeing this right? Dawson Knox is back?
I don't. Let's see. Back in the building.
Back in the building. Yeah.
Yeah, he's IR'd. So
okay, good.
He's IR'd. Kyrie's IR'd.
Leave him there because I just picked up Kincaid in fantasy and I'm ready for him to cook.
I'm waiting for him to cook too. I've had him the whole season.
I was looking back on the episode where we talked about Kincaid needing to be that number 2 receiver. If you look at, and I know the numbers didn't really show this out, but in terms of big moments, big plays when you needed them, Kincaid actually was the number 2 receiver in that Tampa game. Mm-hmm. Right? He had probably 3 big catches in that game that were Diggs-esque in a sense, right? And what I think will work against this Bengals team, I don't want to get too heavily into the pregame stuff that we do for that team, but just from the standpoint of how we can attack teams now with an 11 personnel and Kincaid at tight end, you can still have Stephon Diggs be dominant in his target share, but now you've got a bona fide number 2 guy that you can go to.
No, see, I really like what you said. I think 2 weeks ago, I don't even know what show it was. I can't remember. But when you said the 3 levels, you said Steph Diggs, you said Kincaid, and you said Cook. Those are the 3 you need. Yep. Now, this is my thing. If you want to run an 11, that's fine. I mean, 11 is still 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, and a tight end. Yep. If you want to get ambitious, if you want to get free, you could put Kincaid out there in the slot if you wanted to. Yep. And you could still put Knox at tight end and still and block or whatever when you got Spencer Brown out there. Right. So there's ways around it. It's not saying we got to pick one or the other. It's just everybody gets so wrapped up in the not you, but in the, is he a tight end? Is he a receiver? Is he a pass catcher? Just know he can play.
Right.
He can ball.
Right. I mean, if we had to have him in one position, I would prefer to have him at tight end.
Yeah.
Just because I don't ever want a guy at 6'3", he ran what, a 4.6?
Yeah, it's like 4.7 or something like that.
Yeah. So I don't ever want to consider a guy like that a wide receiver. It's just please stop with that, right? Especially when he's 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Please.
Unless you're David Boston, but he was only, 6'1"?
Exactly. So a guy like that needs to be breaking the ankles of linebackers everywhere, right? And we saw that against Tampa, and Tampa's got great linebackers, right? They got Levante David, and they got who's the other guy?
Levante David White, Devin White.
Devin White. Again, two great linebackers, right? And Kincaid was getting in when he caught 100% of his targets. In that game. And
I saw a stat. He's like 88.9% catch percentage.
Yeah, for the season.
Yeah,
it's
he's insane. The highest in the league,
right?
Out of anybody, wide receiver, tight end, or running back, he's the highest there is.
So why wouldn't you want to continue to take? And here's the thing: I know I'm saying that now, but I think Josh Allen, looking back on that Tampa game, is probably now going to be in a position where he's beginning to trust Kincaid more, because you look at that catch rate percentage, and you look at the productivity that he had in that game. That wasn't a slouch of a defense. It wasn't the defense that they were 2 years ago.
No,
but it still wasn't a slouch of a defense.
Right,
they have a good defensive coordinator and a defensive minded head coach. So Kincaid being able to cook on the guys that he cooked on, I'll take that all day, right? When you're able to manipulate, and this is why I said what I said in terms of Diggs, Kincaid, and Cook, because that gives this team the ability to manipulate three different spaces of the offense, right? And I think I actually did say this when I was talking about this on the episode. If you can force a defense to have to cover the entire field, they're gonna have to play honest. They're gonna end up showing you what they want to do pre-snap more times than not when you force them to play honest, and that makes us dangerous.
Yeah,
right. And I mean, to me, that's when you're that dangerous and you can dictate to defenses. Now you're playing Super Bowl caliber offense. Now you're playing Chiefs level offense. Now you're playing Bengals in the Super Bowl level offense, where you can basically just do what you want.
Right.
So I think, going forward, we have to prioritize getting the ball to Kincaid. He's got to be the number 2 guy. When you do that, you saw what happened with Davis. Now Davis can kind of slide back into that third
That's where he needs to be. And that's, like you said, that's another thing where, well, like I said earlier, you can be creative. You can put the same people on the field, but you got to shift the priorities of who's doing what. And that was the beautiful thing about Daboll and people that truly understand the Earnhardt Perkins is the core principle of Earnhardt Perkins was you have the same look, but everybody does different things on any given play.
Yep.
And Dorsey has to be smart enough to throw the same look out there, but have people do the different things based on the situations, the schemes, what they're seeing, adversity, who's hot, who's cold. He does
do a little bit of that.
He does pretty good. Yeah. He does pretty good.
You can see him trying to get better at it, but yeah, man, I think that's going to be what gets us to the next level. And while it is kind of frustrating that we didn't add any more weapons to the offense after seeing the way that they were able to play during in the Tampa game, you can kind of see, man, if they put these guys in the right scheme, they really don't need anything else on offense. You know what I mean? It's just not going to look like what we thought a traditional 12 should look like. Right? Scrap that. Go back to the 11. In the 11 personnel, this team is fire.
Yeah, they're fine.
You know what I mean? They've got the slot receivers. They've got guys that can play outside. Gabe Davis now becomes a number 3 receiver, even though he's on the outside.
Yep.
That's still fine.
It is fine,
right? And it's like you magically revitalize this offense overnight just by changing the personnel grouping.
I mean, by virtue of the team historically. We've always had a number 2 guy, but number 2 guy has never been the number 2 guy if you think about it. Except
for I think Peerless Price was probably.
Well, I'm talking about McDermott's regime.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's always been the slot guy. It's always been even Knox had a year where he got off, but Emmanuel Sanders really wasn't. John Brown definitely wasn't. Gabe Davis, no. It's always been Cole Beasley. It's always been, right now it could be James Cook if it wasn't for Dalton Kincaid. So, I mean, by virtue, I think the Bills fans really need to think about not putting much emphasis on who's lineup as a number 2 receiver right now.
Yeah. Agreed. So we got some more stuff we heard, or do you want to get into the game?
No, man. You see what old mullet head did over in Las Vegas?
Yo, I saw a stat. The dude is paying $80 million between Gruden and now
to people that aren't even on the team anymore
to not coach the team.
Right.
To not coach the team.
That dude is different.
You know who I really feel bad for?
Who? His barber? Oh. Yes, that
Adams.
too. Him too.
That dude, he got shafted. If you think about it, he came to the Raiders. To play with his boy Carr.
Yep.
Immediately, Carr is gone the following year.
Mm-hmm.
He's still stuck with
Jimmy
Garoppolo
and this new dude. I forgot his name.
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah. I texted my friend about him because he's a big Vegas fan or whatever. Okay. And I said, "Yo, what's up?" He's like, "Yo, he's pretty good." I'm like, "Really?" He didn't say he was a starter, but he's saying he was better than Garoppolo and whoever the other guy was playing for him. He said, "Yeah." He said he's by far out of the 3, he's the better one. I'm like, that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
because I don't even know who he is. 1 and 2, I don't know where he was drafted. Let me just look him up real quick. I'm curious. Aiden, and it says
Aiden O'Connell. Jeez,
did I not even spell it right?
I would just put it in O'Connell.
Yeah, I'm about to do that. There he is. Yeah. 4th round draft pick, 4th round draft pick rookie.
Purdue.
Out of Purdue, 6'3", 210 pounds. Yeah, okay.
He lightened the butt.
Yeah.
He lightened the butt.
Whatever. So Oakland, not Oakland. I'm glad. Actually, Oakland, I feel good for you because you don't have a team anymore. It's probably for the best. So
you think they waking up in the morning? Whoo! I thought we had a game today. Whoa,
like, yo, man, I don't want to watch that.
I couldn't take another loss.
They trying to figure out other stuff. Right. They trying to figure out other stuff to do. They're like, yo, I got to do something else. Play with my train set or something.
Right. Where that Lego museum at? We're about to go up there today.
Oh, yeah, we going to Rochester, New York. Let's get over there.
I never knew there was life outside of this team, man. Especially, like, Oakland is one of those places where, like, because of the weather, you could do anything.
You can do anything you want.
Like, it may not be, some of the greatest neighborhoods in the world.
Right,
but,
yeah.
I'm
not gonna probably
still drive somewhere else or, do something else around there.
As long as you can get to the I was gonna say Grand Island Bridge. The
other side of the Golden Gate Bridge.
the Golden Gate Bridge. If you can just get there, you good.
To the other side of the bridge.
I wonder if they have a border patrol at this. They don't, but
they got an Oakland troll standing at the beginning of the bridge.
That's funny as ever. Just sitting there like, what's your business over here? I don't know.
He has some 3 questions about Britney Spears and none of them can answer it.
Send them back.
Right, and they can't get across unless they answer it right.
Did you see? And this is non-football even related, but did you see that DeAndre Jordan dressed up as Taylor Swift for?
Yes, I seen it.
Our producer has woken up. He's arrested.
Right. We're going to be getting some good camera switches now. He in the conversation.
He dressed up as Taylor Swift. I said, wow.
He played her song while dressed as her walking into the, like.
Who did this?
DeAndre Jordan. 6'11", 250-pound DeAndre Jordan.
Dressed up as Taylor Swift.
That
is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
She looks like she's about that tall.
At least.
Like she's on. My wife looked it up the other day. She's 5'9".
Yeah,
5'9".
Yeah, but it's a different ball game. Those celebrities are tiny, man. It's disheartening how tiny they really are.
Yo, Danny DeVito.
He's got to be non-existent. Yo, he's got to be non-existent.
The man is like 4 something.
Yeah, he's almost a certified midget.
That's a short dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I had to bring that up for some reason. It just didn't. You said Britney Spears. It was sizzling in my spirit.
I could understand that. Something like that's got to come out.
It was sizzling in my spirit, man, and it was my squad, so I had to. Even though they got mopped last night.
This is a football show, sir.
I know it's a football show, but dang it, this could be whatever we want it to be. Let's push the boundaries.
No sports in the title.
I got you when I do my podcast. I got you.
I'm guest hosting. Guys, tune in. I'll let you know when it happens. Did you also? This is football related.
Yeah.
Mr. James Cook's brother. I'm gonna call him that now because he doesn't even have a name anymore. They want him out of New York so bad.
He wants out of New York.
They want to help him get out of New York.
Well, the trade deadline is gone.
They can't. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants him.
Well, I mean, if they release him, there would be another team that would sign him.
If they release him,
he would just have to lower his price point. I think that's the issue right
that's where he would have to go at this point. And that's why teams aren't messing with him. But at the same time, I just don't think anybody really wants him. I just don't. I mean, he's averaging under 3 yards a carry. He's not doing anything, and he's not helping himself with his demeanor. You know, I mean, the whole way he handled going to New York with the leakage of I can get my 7 from the Vikings. If I can't get what I want out anywhere else, I'm gonna go back there. You know, yeah. So he kind of held everybody by their respective gonads. So tough sledding. Hey, I'm glad we got the right cook though.
Listen, at some point, as a player, yes, you used to making the millions of dollars. Yes, you used to having a name, but especially at the running back position, you got to be real with yourself. You got to be able to look in the mirror and say, how old is he? 29?
Yeah, 29, 30, somewhere in there.
29 years old. Usually running backs age out at 28. Like, that's the last year they have where they're in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
And the drop off from 28 to 29 to 30 with most running backs is so drastic.
Right.
No team wants to take a chance on the money that they would spend for something like that. And so am I on the GM side of this thing? No, I still think that players should get paid. I just think, you know, there has to be some objectivity to understand, okay, maybe I'm not a $7 million guy anymore. Maybe I'm a $3.5 million guy. You know, especially if I'm trying to go to a team and win a Super Bowl. Like, let's be honest. He went to the Jets because they had Aaron Rodgers
mm-hmm.
and they had the defense
mm-hmm.
and they were set up to go and win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And he was chasing that ring. Okay, well, if that's the case, say to the Jets, terminate my contract, let me out of here so that I can just go.
Yeah.
Like, if it's really about wanting to go to another place and help a team, then really make it about that openly. Say, terminate my contract. Don't even worry about paying me whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I made so far is what I made so far. That's fine. The rest of the contract, you can have that money. Because if the goal for me as a player is to go to a team that has a real shot at winning the Super Bowl, then you got to really make it about that. You got to make it about, okay, I'll take less money to go to a team that you know needs to be able to pay me a little bit less in order for me to play for them. That's really what it is. Like, do it. And here's the other side of that too. For me, honestly, for the Bills, I hate when they do that because we don't get enough guys like a Dalvin Cook to begin with.
Mm-hmm. So when we're giving all the money to a guy like Deion Dawkins, or we're giving all the money to a guy like who else's contract didn't I like? Dawson Knox.
Yeah, you giving all the money to Dawson Knox. That to me is frustrating when you can't pay a guy like Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean? You really have no business paying Dawson Knox or Deion Dawkins what they're getting paid when you got the 49ers trading for Trent Williams. When the 49ers traded for Trent Williams, he was already in his 30s.
Mm-hmm.
The man is almost 40 now. He's still the best left tackle in the league. Still. You mean to tell me you couldn't handle paying that man when he was already the best in the league and continuously still stayed the best left tackle in the league? Right. You didn't need that?
I mean, probably could have helped.
Now the 49ers just went and traded for Chase Edmonds for a third-round pick.
Chase Young.
I'm sorry, Chase Young.
I'm like Chase Edmonds. He doesn't fit the bill.
Yeah. Chase Young.
Yeah.
Man, my video producer over there
He's
is
on
point.
Fire today.
He's on point.
Yeah.
Clap it up for the dude, man.
Before, but then, so 49ers 49ers got like two players. They got Chase Young, they got somebody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 49ers fleeced the Washington Redskins for their best left tackle and their best pass rusher.
Who got Montez Sweat?
The Bears.
Yeah.
Bears. I don't even know why they trying to. Maybe because Minnesota lost their quarterback. Now Chicago think they got a shot.
I mean,
that's still dumb. They don't have a shot.
No, I mean, I'm thinking. Well, Jalen Johnson he's got one more year on his contract after this, and Montez Sweat probably has another year. They probably think they're going to bolster their pass rush for next year with a good corner. They still have Tremaine Edmonds at middle linebacker though.
Right. And this other linebacker that they signed, he looks to be a little bit better than Edmonds, but his coverage ability don't look that great.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, that's not even a slight on Tremaine. But I mean, let's face it, we know what we're talking. Not me and you. We all know. Everybody in Buffalo that watched Tremaine, you know his limitations. You know what it would have done for our offense or for our defense. And I just personally would rather have Terrell Bernard. I mean, Bernard has been a revelation.
Yeah.
So keep it up.
Yeah. All right. What else? What else did we hear?
I've heard a lot of things, but I don't think anything really worth talking about. I mean, obviously you had your pressers, Stephon Diggs. Somebody asked him, was that the guy that you were fighting with last year? And
Douglas?
Yeah. He was like, I don't know who it was. He was like, somebody from that team. I don't know.
I punched somebody.
Right. He didn't know who. He was like, he said he started it, I finished it, whoever it was. I mean, dude, and the thing was, he said they asked him, so how do you feel about that level of whatever on the team now, it being a team? He's like, man, I love it. He said, I love it. They said, so you like that kind of? He's like, yeah, that kind of. That's a winning personality.
No doubt. And
that's kind of what we get at when we went through our whole Stephon Diggs fit. I'm not going to say the word. I know you said I can, but I'm not. Our whole fit. About what we're going through with him, and it's the fact that it's that mentality. Is the I don't respect you. You're not on my team, so I don't respect you, and I don't have to.
Right. I'm
about to destroy you.
Right.
And so that was the major takeaway from that. But I also found a clip where he said last year after was it after? Yeah, it had to be after the Green Bay game where he said there's no such thing as moral victories. He said, either you win or you lose. He said, that's it. I don't like to lose. I'm not a loser. And I don't believe him. I don't celebrate moral victories. So that tells you why when we played Cincinnati, why he did what he did. It tells you why he flips out when things don't go the right way. Now, I'm not going to say his way because that'll open a whole other can of worms I don't want to go through. Because people were just waiting for me to say that. But, so I think those were very telling remarks from Stephon Diggs and his presser. I'm just trying to thumb through real quick before we move on. Pressers about the current team as is. Obviously, Sean McDermott, I think I said already, Linval and Rasul can possibly play. Linval is a veteran. He's a high character leader in the locker room. That's what he said. I think
Linval Joseph is probably going to
He should. He should. Really should. I mean,
especially in this game.
I was going to say, especially with the state of the DT room. Yeah. I don't want to see Tim Settle start. I'm glad we don't have Harrison Phillips. I don't want to see Jordan Phillips start next to Ed Oliver. No. Not because he can't, but because he is kind of Ed Oliver. They both need a one tech to be great. Right. And everybody, what are these three?
Any more players out of position?
Yeah, he's 300. This is not Madden. You can't just put the biggest dude and say, "Oh, he's going." It doesn't work that way. Yep. So that's why Daquan Jones. If you went by that logic, Daquan Jones will never be a one tech because he's too small. Yeah. But he plays the heck out of. He's only 310, 309. He's 6'3", 309. That's not big at all. Yeah. So, and guys, once again, this is all relative.
Because he's 6'6".
290, whatever.
290, okay, almost 300 pounds. But everybody else is small.
This is all relative.
How many times I didn't heard this man say, "Oh, he's small." He's a Deion Dawkins. He's small. Like,
I didn't say Deion Dawkins is small.
Who's big, Keyshawn?
That would be the one, probably. That would be the one. Deion Dawkins would probably be the one I say is big.
Really?
I probably would say.
We saw him at the mall.
I know. See, now you nigga, but his calves were the size of my computer monitor, dude.
Yeah, but that's different.
But you got
this 5'9" with calves the same size as him.
Man, that thing. I don't know what those things had another zip code. But I mean, you gotta figure. I've seen Cody Ford and everybody talk. He's not big at all. Jordan Phillips is really not big at all.
Cody Ford was 6'3", 320.
320 or something like that. But he didn't look like it.
Really?
Unless no, he didn't look like it at all. Like I knew him by face and the beard.
Yeah.
But when you see the makeup of his body, you're like, okay, But like a lot of guys, like I told you when we talked, you yelled at me because I said Levi Wallace actually was taller than I thought he was. You said you are not going to use that on him.
That one is time, the one player you are not allowed to compliment on anything.
Like
especially size when everybody else is small, but all of a sudden,
well,
Levi Wallace is tall for his size.
You know what it is? It was a reverse. It's the reverse thought process because I thought Levi was a little shrimp. So when I saw him, he's still super skinny.
Right.
But he was taller than I thought. I thought he was gonna be like down by my freaking chest somewhere. I'm thinking he's like 5'9", 5'10". No, he's legit like a 6 feet. Something like that.
He's not that much taller than me. I'm 5'11". He's not that much taller than me.
But when you see people and you get disappointed, and I see him, I'm like, oh, okay. He was just wiry. He's real wiry.
I think there's a bias there.
Yeah, it's
probably what it was.
It might be.
He probably was short and skinny. And
no, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was when he passed me by. I had no clue because he didn't look like a football player. And don't say anything. Do not say a thing. He didn't look like a football player, okay? Yeah, bite your tongue. Bite the heck out of your tongue because you want to.
I'm reserving my comments in case he ends up being a Bill next year because if I got to go back and bite that bullet, I'm gonna die. Die.
Speaking of which, there was a lot of talk about the Rasul Douglas contract, and how this is going to work for next year because next year he adds a $9 million hit to our already $20 million hit.
Okay,
so we're at 29 and change over the cap.
Right.
You cut him. You erase all of that. You don't owe him a dime, nothing. But
so you think they release him and re-sign him or something?
You could. That's the only thing. And I think you could do that if he wants to come here.
Yeah.
After that interview, you have to convince him. I think because I wasn't sold on him really being happy with the fact that he's in Buffalo. And I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that because this isn't everybody's cup of tea.
What are the taxes like in Green Bay?
I don't know. Probably better than ours.
Tax rate.
Everything's better than New York taxes.
That's probably what. Yeah, you're right. Right.
You know what? No, you know what it is though. I really think what it was for him more than anything is the fact that he became a player there. He had relationships with his guys there. And let's face it, nobody wants to be traded because unless you're a top dog, you don't have any saying where you're going. So.
Oh my God, there's only 5.5.
Yeah, and somebody's listening to you like, only? That's astronomical.
No, well, I mean, people in Green Bay probably
not in Buffalo, but
right,
Buffalo. Or in New York State, period.
Where ours is in the 9s.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even care anymore. It's like, just take my money.
Right.
Just take it.
Right.
Just don't tell me what you took.
Cut the check in half.
Yeah, just don't tell me what you took. Went over everything. Yeah. So okay. So
my taxes at the end of the year.
What's that?
I said I pay my taxes at the end of the year.
I don't even. I just pay.
When you got write-offs and stuff, that's the way to go. That's the way to do it.
So
you need some write-offs.
I ain't got nothing, man. I'm writing off my money.
You
I did slide you some dough for some of the equipment.
Partner entrepreneur.
That's
now,
right.
So
I did slide you something for the equipment.
Right.
Welcome back, my 73 cents. All right. I'm in the money. Tell you what we spending it on.
Man, remember when we had penny candy back in the day?
Yeah.
This old folks talking.
Remember when they took that from us too.
The demographic of this show is we about to start talking about penny candy from back in the 1990s.
This is a fun show, man. This is great. I remember when the store on Ferry was the only store left that sold penny candy for an actual penny because they went to 2 cents for it. But it was prepackaged. It was like, I don't want this mix. I don't really like this. Whatever. It just is not good. So
yeah.
Then they just did away with it. $25 and 25 cent bag of chips.
Like even in high school, if you had an allowance of, I don't know, $20 a week, you were set because you could take $4 a day to the corner store, and you come home with 4 bags of chips and
stockpiling,
two or three zebra cakes,
that big pickle,
a juice,
you like it
for 99 cents.
Yeah.
Like you was straight.
That big pickle, if you like it. I know that was a hit at the corner store.
The what?
The pickle?
Do
you ain't know that?
Who's buying pickles at a corner store?
The pickle was the ticket.
The pickle?
Yeah, they had this big,
like a regular pickle.
No, it wasn't like it was like a cucumber, like
a massive pickle.
Yeah.
People just going to the corner store to buy massive
pickle. I'm dead serious. Yeah.
So you going to the corner store rubbing your hands like, yeah, I'm about to go.
They were getting that pickle.
Why?
I didn't get the pickle.
Why is that taking precedence over anything else in the corner store?
I was why you real? I was an Upstate Farms guy. I love the little sugar juice.
Yeah.
That was what I ain't getting no chips.
Wait, fruit punch or orange?
Orange. See, I was orange.
I was
orange.
That orange was lit.
Man.
Fruit punch had its moments, but orange,
That orange.
It was nothing like that. Listen,
That unlocked something.
High C Orange had nothing on the Upstate Farms orange.
Nothing. No.
Couldn't touch it.
No, and you still can't. I gotta grab me some.
Do they still make it?
They have to somewhere.
Oh,
I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna go into the
added
deepest,
sugar.
darkest corner store somewhere. I bet it's still there. I bet you it's still there.
I need you to find out. Send me a picture of it.
I'm gonna send you a picture of it, and I'm gonna see if anybody still sells that pickle.
Oh, no, you will not.
Matter of fact, somebody chime in. Do they still sell the pickle at the corner store? Do they still sell it? Because I need to know.
I hope not.
Hope it's not the same pickle when I was
hope people
12.
are not buying prepackaged pickles at the corner store.
No, it wasn't even
to begin with.
prepackaged.
Huh?
It was in a jar. It was literally in a big jar. They would go get the tongs. They would reach in there with the tongs. They had like this little wax paper wrap, and they slide it and they give it to you. Yeah. It wasn't even prepackaged. Oh, this is just on the east side? This was just on the east side.
You didn't even grow up on the east side.
I grew up on the east side.
Where?
Wyoming and Northland.
Oh, yeah, that's the east side.
Yeah, we had like two corner stores. We had an Asian store down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I grew up, but I'm saying, I thought this was normal. I thought everybody had the pickle.
Nah, everybody didn't have the pickle, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I mean, like where was the jar? Like right up by the register?
it was behind the register, yeah.
Oh,
Behind
man,
it was like, you know where they put the Hennessy at? And well, you might not know, but you know where they put the high-end stuff behind it? Yeah, it was like that. It was covered. It was up on that shelf, too.
Nah, I mean on
Yeah,
the
they
west
was getting
side,
pickle.
on the west side, they had all like the pixie sticks and the penny candies and stuff up by the register. So
Yeah,
that
Laffy
nobody could
Taffies,
take-
Now and Later's, yeah, that was there, yeah.
Right,
But then behind,
I wasn't looking for no pickles behind nowhere.
they just knew. Then they had the clothes back there, too.
Oh dang, y'all had it back then?
Yeah.
Nah, the joints I went to had no clothes. Man. We
Get you a
was
knockoff
behind.
hat, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, we was behind. I used to go to Big Boss all the time and buy the hats.
Oh, so you ain't have to do
That was
that.
back in the day.
Go right to the corner store.
Yeah, we didn't have them kind of quarter stores on the west side.
Yo, I love this show. I love this show today.
This is what it is.
This is what it is. But let's get to Paycor Stadium, November 5th.
Oh,
8:15. 8:15 or is it 8:10 or some weird 8:17 time? Whatever.
8-17.
You know how they do it.
Yeah, probably.
Now the Bengals fans, I'm gonna say it. These are some bandwagon fans. You see the stat I hear? the attendance for this season has skyrocketed by 10%. That was up from 60,325 last season when they won the AFC Championship and made it to the Super Bowl. Now,
Just 10%?
well, that's probably capacity now. I got people like, oh, we got a team. Let's go watch them. Stop it.
I don't know if I can say that for a 10% bump. Like I could see if it was like 30 or 40%.
But I don't know.
They
Well, we
been
got to know
good
what the
for-
capacity is, though, because if that's capacity, can't go no higher.
No, I think their capacity is close to ours, isn't it?
Let's look, because we actually have a big useless stadium. We got the old school.
Yeah, we got 73,000, right?
74, somewhere in there.
Maybe, yeah, almost 74.
And this isn't even a newer stadium.
Paycor
Capacity.
Stadium capacity.
Yeah, so
65,
yeah,
5,
65. So they're over capacity now. So that's why it's 10%. So they went from having empty seats to being standing room only.
Yeah, so they probably weren't selling the nosebleeds, but now they are.
Yeah, it's like a UB Stadium where they have the one end has a tarp that says UB on it.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they took the whole end out. They just put the field house there now. So
Oh wow.
yeah, they used to have a tarp and like they scored.
That's
Yeah,
smart. Tired of covering it up.
they made it
Do
look
something
right.
else with it.
But I mean, they used to have, it was nice. They had lights that lit up when they scored and everything. They had a howitzer one time when that in. Yeah, you can't take kids to UB back in that day because when they scored, you forgot the cannon was there, and they set that bad boy off, and all your eardrums was gone. All your eardrums
Lit
was
you
gone.
up. Oh man.
Yeah, we got used to it after a while. We just went deaf. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which it is, huh?
Listen, between that and one of your jobs, it's no wonder why you can't.
Damn,
hear
I can't hear nothing.
Like, for people who don't know, we got these speakers on so that Keyshawn can hear himself
Yep.
like properly so that he knows whether he's too loud or not too loud.
Yep.
Like we gotta.
Yeah, I still don't even hear nothing. It's all good.
We gotta get you out of that stadium, man.
I know.
We gotta get you out of that stadium. Oh, they're busting off cannons at a game.
Oh,
Like,
they were
who's still
lasting them
doing
off.
that?
Like, no, they don't do it no more.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Army must have needed it back. I think they got it from they might actually got it from the reserve. I'm not sure if they got it from the base or where they got it from.
That is
but
hilarious. The Army
it's
needed it
funny.
back.
Can
Can you imagine that phone call? Hey, listen, I know y'all been having a good time busting off them cannons during the games and all, but y'all just ain't winning enough.
Right. Let me get that back up off you. That's taxpayer money you sounding off, and it's not really worth it.
Right. Actually, there's a museum that we were thinking of selling it to.
I just decommissioning the whole thing.
Right.
Just pack it up. We like it back by noon on Thursday.
Exactly. Well, we got a game tonight. Yeah, I
I understand
it.
that.
Yep.
I understand that.
Still, thank you.
Everybody
very
take their
much.
phones on, just make one cannon sound at the same time. You'll be all right.
Right. Bye now.
So the Bengals are for 2023. They're in fourth place, believe it or not, at 4-3. So they're in a three-way
that was
tie. So
surprising. That was surprising. Last place in their division.
it's a three-way tie, which is kind of weird. What did they lose to the Browns and Steelers? Must have.
Yeah. Browns instead. I know they lost to the Browns. Steelers, I'm not sure. We'd have to look up what their.
Yeah, I have to take a look at that. But
Listen, this is not the team you want to underestimate. Now,
There you go.
I heard on the radio earlier today, Sal Capaccio talking about their defense is not great. Wait, was it Sal? It might have been one of the other guys.
right.
But somebody was saying the defense is not great. They're 15th or whatever it is.
Their defense is bad, but that doesn't mean anything because they have an offense.
Well, okay, let's take a step back. A lot of these players on this defense were still there from last year. And if I'm not mistaken, the year before, right? Now, while the players on this defensive team, in this defense for the Bengals, may not have the ratings or the names or anything like that, the coordinator that they have,
Lou Anarumo.
yeah, puts these players in a position to play very well against great quarterbacks. They've done a really good job against Mahomes every time they've seen him, and they've done a masterful job against Josh every time they've seen him. So I want everybody watching this show, everybody who puts this on before the game on Sunday night, to understand there is still a level of respect that we have to have for this team, even if their ratings are bad this year, right? Because the other part of that too is with Burrow being hurt at the beginning of the season, their offense is not staying on the field long enough to do anything, right? They weren't scoring, points, enough to the degree where the defense didn't have to go out onto the field for extended periods of time and try to win the game for the team, right? So at the beginning of the season, the defensive stats were what they were because the defense was on the field all the time. That's my basic point, right? And you look at how the defense has been performing lately, they look a lot better. You look at what they did to the 49ers. That's an offense that's not supposed to be shut down the way they were. Now, granted, they were missing one of their Pro Bowlers, but McCaffrey played in that game. He still got shut down.
I mean, your quarterback was iffy whether he should even played or not. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, let me just say this: if the Bills play their game, this defense is not going to be the problem. If the Bills play their game, the defense is not going to be the reason why we lose this matchup.
I want to agree with you. I do. But the last two times that we've played this team, the Bills have played small.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if we play our game,
well, that's the thing. Sean McDermott is still the head coach, so
Yeah.
we don't know if they're going to come out guns blazing like they did against Tampa.
Right.
Maybe they do that against
and
Tampa
that's the
because they don't respect
caveat.
Tampa.
Right, that's the caveat I'm getting at. I agree with you. I agree because I don't even know if I'm going to have to go. If I'm going to give the keys to the game, I probably will. But the point is, you got to start fast. You got to play your game again.
Right.
If you can play your game, whatever it is, their defense isn't a stalwart like the Jets when they can just take over.
Yeah.
If you play small, like you said, which they did last year, they didn't even show up for 2 games. I know we're not going to talk about was that week 16 or whatever it was, but they didn't show up even before whatever happened.
Right.
So why they're afraid of Cincinnati, why they're cowering to Cincinnati, I don't know. But if they come out there and decide that we belong, what I'm worried about for them is as you know, is Jamar Chase, is T. Higgins, is Taj Boyd, Joe Burrow. Those are the ones that I'm worried about. So your point is taken about the defense, but I still have to see what team shows up on Sunday night. That's the thing for me.
Right. If we're trying to project, I'm just gonna say it. If I'm excuse me, forgive me. I need to get some water in me, but if I'm trying to project what I think is gonna happen Sunday night, now this is the complete opposite of what I'm saying could potentially happen.
Absolutely.
I was right early on during the season in terms of how I thought the Bills performed against the teams they played. But once we got to that New England game, that's when everything just started going backwards for me. Because I thought they would have problems against Tampa, and they kind of didn't.
Right.
I think
then they started to at the end.
Yeah, they could, because they started playing. They started playing
to not lose.
Not to. It was like Sean had made a decision during the Tampa Bay game that he was going to try to win it with his defense. He didn't want his offense to go all out and score 50 points. He just wanted to get enough points to make the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to play the rest of the game from behind. Okay, even if that is your philosophy and that's how you want to play, you cannot do that against the great quarterbacks in the league. They will go toe to toe. What if you're going score for score like in the Miami game, how that first started, right? Mm-hmm. You got, I don't want to say you got lucky, but you were the beneficiary of having they had all of their defensive starters in that game except for Miller. Mm-hmm. Right? So you had a full plethora of your defensive weapons at that point to be able to work some extra things into the way you play coverages or the way you rush the passer and all that, and you were able to do what you did during that game. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to do that again against Miami in Miami at the end of the season. Right? They've seen who you are now. Yep. You don't have all your defensive starters, and every single time that the Dolphins played us last year, they got better and better and better as the games went on, right? So my point in saying all this is Sean McDermott has shown a propensity, a tendency, a crutch that he falls onto of trying to, and he said this in one of his pressers before, everything in moderation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is the dumbest thing you could possibly live by as an NFL head coach when you're trying to win games, because the idea should be blow them out by 50 every single game, blow them out by 50.
Yeah,
if I can get to the fourth quarter and I'm ahead of you by 30, then we can slow down a little bit and we don't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think your take on how you play Madden is the best. Honestly, without sound like I'm just trying to be a fanboy. Maybe I am. I don't know, but I think your ideology on. I remember we were playing, and you were playing a computer, and you play on all Madden. And I think you had like 40 points. Mm. And it was the fourth quarter, and they scored, I think, a field goal. You almost ripped the PlayStation out of the TV and threw it. I'm like, fam, what are you doing? You like, they scored. I'm like, fam, you're up by 37 points. Who cares? You're like, no, it's not good. So you proceeded to end the game and start practicing. You practiced on the field to make sure it didn't happen again. I'm like, dude, you're scouting the computer. At the time I didn't understand it because I never had that mentality. I was never that kind of guy, which is not a knock on you at all. That's not what I'm getting at. My point is, this is how you want to coach a football team, especially when you're getting paid to do so.
Right.
I don't, if I remember when I played ball, the coach's thing, I play basketball. The coach's thing is, you do not score over 40 points against us. Don't matter who you are. No more than 40 points. If we allow 42 points, we had to run full court wind sprints for 2 minutes. Full court tip drill for 2 minutes. These boys they lost by, I think they put up 80-something points on us one time. Fam, it was so bad the coaches were running the punishment with us. We ran that drill for 40 minutes. Then the ball was not allowed to, if it hit the ground, you start over again. And we were playing as a team that played against LeBron James. That's how good the team was that we played. And they got 88 on us. I mean, obviously we lost. But the thing was, dude, do you know who they are?
Right.
Don't care. So, and I liken that real life to how you were on Madden, because that's the mentality that wins.
Right.
That's the mentality that gets Super Bowls. That's why you see some of those coaches kicking and screaming and pissing all over themselves on the sideline, because giving up 3 points can turn into 6 next week.
Exactly.
Or we lose the week after that because we didn't clean this up.
Or even this. In the game of football in the NFL, so much of the game at that level is mental.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. If a team is able to get 3 on you, now they start believing they can get 6.
Right.
At the very least, they feel like they can get another 3.
Yep.
And maybe set themselves up with some kind of quirky play or something like that may give them 6. Mm-hmm. But the idea is, if they believe they can beat you, they are dangerous.
Yeah.
Because they're going to try, and somebody might not be at 100% during a certain play. Somebody may get injured during a certain play. Somebody's coverage may be busted, and guess what? Now all of a sudden it's a whole completely different game because they just scored a touchdown, and they're going to start believing that they can score another one. Mm-hmm. If I'm playing against any team that I'm going up against, I want you know what? One of the things that Bill Belichick built with Tom Brady in New England was like a cloud that came over any team that they were playing against, where they just did not believe that they could beat the Patriots. Right. There was maybe 1 or 2 teams, the Dolphins and the Jets during that tenure, and I don't even really think the Colts believed it the way that they would play against the Patriots at times, but for sure the Steelers did. Mm-hmm. Right, during that tenure. But that's what, 4 teams out of 32 or 31 that really believed that they could beat the Patriots. Mm-hmm. That's the type of mentality that the Bills should have, is when we come to town, you need to be pooping yourself. Yeah. Worried about are you even going to be able to score on us? Are you even going to be able to keep up with us? Are you even going to be able to figure out how we're stopping you and how to stop what we're doing defensively?
Are you going to be able to be a step ahead of us?
Right. Mm-hmm. And everybody always believed that Bill was a step ahead of them. Right. And for all intents and purposes, he was. Right. But what that did to a team mentally, the stress that it put on the team mentally, the week leading up to and during the game, you could see teams beating themselves because they were so tight. Right. They were so scared to make a mistake because in their mind, if they made one mistake, the whole game was over. Every team came into that game playing against the Patriots when they had Brady thinking, we have to play the perfect game in order to win.
I liken that to how you had to play against, how the people were playing against Golden State.
Yeah.
Because Golden State shouldn't be beating it, but they know how to make you shoot threes. They know how to make you play their game, and you can't beat them at that game. It's not going to happen.
I love it.
I know you do, and that's the thing. Everybody are the Nuggets going to beat them? I don't know. It depends on if they play their game or if they play Golden State's game. Because if they play Golden State, and it's not going to work. And that's, like you said, Bill Belichick. He knows how to make you play my game. Right. I can make you do what I want you to do. Yep. Dance, puppy. You think you're going to beat me, but you're doing exactly what I want you to do. Right. And sometimes he used to play the rope-a-dope on you. The first half, he lets you be closing, but second half, take off on you.
And it's over.
Take off on you because you got confident. You're like, we could beat this team. He's like, I didn't even give you my best punches yet. Right. But that's how you play football. That's how you play anything, any competitive sport, anything competitive. You never let them see your hand.
That's it. You never let them think they have a chance.
Nope.
Listen, you step in the ring with Tyson, you knew what time it was. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try, but I already know if I get hit with that hook.
I don't even like looking at his pictures. Huh? I don't like looking at his pictures. I'm like, yo, he can see me through this picture. He gonna come for me. 53 years old. I'm still not doing it. I'll be like, scroll.
Oh, that's funny.
I commend anybody making fun of how he talks and anything. I'm like, you got a death sentence.
Right. Because he can, man. I believe it.
He can tear you to shreds.
Every second of it, he can still hit.
He could tear you to shreds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, looking at Cincinnati's defense wise, if you I like Pro Football Focus just to get a snapshot. They're really not good against the run. They're really not good against the pass. They are just good enough to get the offense, what they need in order to succeed.
Right.
If the offense got 28, they can make sure they only hold you to 27. They're not going to be the kind of team that's going to shut you out unless you shut yourself out. Buffalo, I'm talking to you. But yeah, I mean, coverage wise, they don't really have. If you look at their covers, their best coverage man doesn't even show up until 6. He's average.
They don't have a Woozier anymore.
Who's that?
I said they don't have a Woozier anymore. Yo, yeah, there he is.
Yeah, he's down here.
Okay,
he's bad. I mean, it's just like I said, the defense itself is going to be good enough to keep the offense in the game, and the offense do what they want. Who's
DJ Turner? Is that their nickel or is he a starter?
DJ Turner, runs a 4.26. You must like that.
Yeah.
Let's see by position.
5'11", 180. That's the good size.
He's up there. Gracious. Okay, so nope, he's a boundary.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he plays a little slot, but you can see he really doesn't get any snaps of slot. His boundary is here.
So they may put him on Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're gonna. So do they? I didn't really get too much time this week to scout like some of the stuff that they do on defense. Are they more zone? Do you know or?
Let's see. I can put it up real quick for you.
This man got stats on stats on stats.
I can pull it up for you so we can have concrete. Where are we? Defensively, coverage grades, coverage scheme.
Pro Football Focus.
I mean, like I said, it's not the best, but it'll give you what you need.
It's not the best. This man got stat sheets on top of stat sheets on top of websites on top of stat sheets.
I have a lot of stuff happening here.
Humility is just you're just drowning in humility.
I have stuff. I do all right for myself. So it looks, I mean, if you're looking here, you're seeing they're mostly zone. They run some man concepts, but mostly you're going to see them in a zone look. Honestly, I'm not the best guy to tell you whether it's a cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. I don't know.
They probably switch it up throughout the, especially for a guy like Josh. They're going to switch it up throughout the game. They're going to have to.
I mean, I'm hoping that your 4.26 guy is on stuff Diggs because he's fast, but he's not crafty enough to stay with Diggs. I know that for a fact.
No corner in this league.
No. I mean, I'm actually interested in seeing the Dolphins matchup where we play against Jalen Ramsey. Just because of Jalen Ramsey. I mean, Steph Diggs got him the last couple of times, but
Diggs is kind of eating him up almost every time they play.
Yeah, I mean that's what he does. But it's like, I like to see him iron sharpens iron. I guess they say.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Ramsey got hurt. He's back now. You see what Mike McDaniel said?
No.
He said he's disappointed in Jalen Ramsey. He said because he got an interception, but Ramsey told him I'm getting a pick 6. He said, I'm disappointed. I'm upset with him. I'm very disappointed. This dude, I love this guy. Sidebar. I put it on our Facebook page. Did you see that?
Yeah, the quote that he had. Yeah,
he walks to the podium.
I definitely
and says,
I saw that.
He's all right, before we get started, I know I'm bigger in person. What the? What?
I mean,
the dude's he's in another dimension.
Swag, man. You got to give it to him.
He's in another dimension. But going back to their defense, they blitz a little more than Bills. They're blitzing about 5% more than the Bills blitz, so that puts them up, a couple slots ahead of us. But like I said, it's up to our offense to show up and show out because they have Aiden Hutchinson, who was on the injury report, so he didn't participate a couple of days a week, so he's injured.
You mean Hendrickson?
Hendrickson, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, sir. See? Iron sharpens iron. Thank you.
No doubt. I'm like Hutchinson. I like
he's
player,
there,
but he's a lion.
I know, you're right. I was keeping your toes.
You were checking to see
if you were still awake. Yes. Let's see.
It only sounds like I'm snoring when I'm breathing.
No, you're good. Biggie Smalls.
Oh.
See, Joe Mixon was limited on the practice field this week because of a chest injury. Orlando Brown was limited for a groin, and some other no-name guys. I guess I don't know Tyson Anderson. I don't know Devin Harper, and I don't know Josh Tufu. But I can tell you the three guys I named, they're limited. So that's something you want to go after. Early and often hit Joe Mixon in his chest, literally.
I was just about to say, punch him in his chest.
Punch him dead in his chest. Orlando Brown, he's growing. His kick is going to be off. Put your speed guy on him. And Trey Hendrickson, who's their best pass rusher, he's got a foot. If you step on it, whatever,
or roll
twist
into
him.
it.
Roll into it. Roll into it. Twist it a little bit. However you want to do it. Yeah, I'm not saying you got to play dirty, but
Davis Gaither is a starter for them too.
Okay, so that's another
if I'm not
knee.
mistaken. Yeah, Davis Gaither, I believe, is a starter for them too. He was limited with a knee. So
who? Okay, I just saw this. Who writes for Pro Football Reference? Look at this.
Just got here. Yeah, it was funny because my spiritual dad, man, he was like, I asked him what he thought about the trade. He was like, man, one of the dudes is already on the injury report. I'm like, did you see what he wrote though for the injury report? He was like, no. I'm like, it says he just got here. He's not injured. It just
that's hilarious.
I don't even know why they would put that though.
That's hilarious.
Why does he need to be on injury report?
I don't know. And you know what I was thinking about too. I was wondering for Kyer Elam, he's injured.
Yeah.
Has he shown up on an injury report?
No. But that's the same. That's why I mentioned Gabe Davis last year, because he wasn't on the injury report all season, and then we didn't find out until the end of the season that he was dealing with an ankle injury.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I was wondering you could get into issues with that
for not reporting it.
Yeah, as long as he didn't show up, as long as he wasn't limited or missing practice, and they can and they can't prove it was due to his ankle, he's fine. But
right.
But
that's probably why they just had him inactive certain games.
Yeah, because Beane alludes to the fact that he was he wasn't always really a healthy scratch. He said that. He said it wasn't. How did he word it? I can't remember exactly how he worded it. He said he's a not so healthy scratch. That's how he said it.
So let me find out the Bills actually got some stuff up their sleeve, some little trickery and some games and stuff
they got playing. Games and things like that. Yeah, so take it for what it is.
I mean, it could be, on better stuff like stealing teams' signals and stuff. That would be nice.
Could be.
Do some of that once in a while so we can win a championship around this piece.
I forgot to say the Bills lead the all-time series by a 17-16 margin. Last 5 games, we've lost 3 and won 2, and that doesn't include the no contest. So technically, if you want to be technical about it, we probably would have lost 4 and won 2. Had that game taken place. Offensively, I think, would you blitz him?
Burrow?
Yeah. He's got the fastest release in the league, and he's looking to get hit. He's used to the dump off.
If you're gonna play that soft coverage BS that you usually do against the better receivers in the league, I think you have to. I really do. The offensive line for the Bengals has not played up to the level that they should with the players that they've gotten. Orlando Brown is a Pro Bowl level guy, but has not played at all to that level in Cincinnati. And even the guards that they bought, they haven't and I don't know if it's because they haven't gelled yet, because I know some of all of the guys weren't able to play together during the preseason, but it's weird. Every single time you would think a unit for an opponent that the Bills face is not playing well. Mm-hmm. Whenever the Bills face them, now all of a sudden they're playing Pro Bowl level. You know what I mean? So it's like we bring the best out of people.
Let's be clear. Their run game is going to get off. Yeah. Because every team gets off on the Bills, and this is not hyperbole. They really said that on the broadcast, which is true.
Yeah,
every team had an issue with the running identity, which Joe Mixon has struggled this year. But they've all found their groove when they played against the Bills.
Yep.
So hopefully Linval Joseph, he's going to play. I'm going to speak into it. He's going to play.
Man, I hope so.
But Joe Burrow this year, you're looking at. Let's see. We'll just go backwards through his performances. 283 yards passing, 185, 317, 165, 259, 222, and 82 yards on opener. So, and that was on 14 of 31. So he's kind of middling. He's not blowing anybody's socks off. He's had a couple of good games in there, but interceptions wise, he's thrown 3. Touchdowns he has. Let me do a quick calculation: 3, 5, 8, 10. So like he has a 2.4 second release time. So that's something that I'm interested in kind of actually, and that's why I asked you, because I don't know the best way to attack a quarterback that's used to releasing the ball under pressure and being rushed a lot.
Yeah, and it's I mean, it's not just the quick release. He's running now.
Yeah,
he's I mean, he did it against San Francisco. He can run now, and he's not afraid to get the extra yards after getting away from the pass rush. So that's an added dimension that you have to worry about going against him too. And with the Bills' penetrating style defensive line play, that could be extremely dangerous when you got a bunch of guys playing zone and you got the pass rush basically being taken out of the play because they're over rushing or just being guided by the offensive line out of position. Now you got a Joe Burrow that can scramble a few steps and get the ball out, or scramble and get extra yardage. That could be a backbreaker throughout the game.
Right.
If he's allowed to do that. So I think blitzing him, if you're gonna blitz him, you got to blitz him up the middle. I don't know where the A gap blitz has gone. Mm-hmm. Maybe they were only doing that because they had Tremaine Edmonds and he's a good blitzer, but I'm sorry. I think you gotta put that 1 tech and that 3 tech together and get that push up the middle and force that guard center guard area to have to choose a side, or to have to choose a specific gap that they want to make sure they get covered. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's showing on sacked plays. He's averaging three seconds to release. So they're getting to him within 3 seconds. His scrambles, like you said, he's starting to run. So he is at about 4.76 when he's starting to scramble. So that would buy you some time to get to him. But I just worry about a lot of things, especially when you're playing a quarterback of this magnitude and your defense hasn't really performed this year. I know people think they have, but they just haven't yet. And that's not, me trying to be Team Frazier and all that. It's on paper.
Right. What I would really like to see this game is I would really like to see Von Miller play on Orlando Brown's side.
And Leonard Floyd on the other side?
And Leonard Floyd on the other side. Well, actually, no. Schematically, what I would love is for Rousseau to bull rush. Just bull rush the whole game. Close that side of the pocket so that he cannot scramble through that gap or scramble around that tackle and get open running to his right side. That's when he's going to be the most dangerous, right? But just shut that side off. Just have Rousseau closing down on him, pushing space, pushing people into Joe Burrow's face, and then give Miller the opportunity to work up and under Orlando Brown, or even get around him from time to time. Mm-hmm. I think Miller's got more than enough moves to keep Orlando Brown off guard. Orlando Brown's already dealing with an injury, right? And a guy that size is not going to have quick feet. Right, he's 6'8", 330 some odd pounds, 340.
Is he that low now? Yeah, I'm gonna say like 350 almost.
Okay.
Yeah, he lost weight to get down to like 360 at one point.
Right. So, with that being said, a guy like Von Miller, even with the knee, still poses the best threat and the best opportunity for sacks on that side of the field. That's what I would love to see is those guys on passing downs be the guys on the ends. Even if you brought an AJ Epinesa in to play, D tackle or something like that, just to get pressure up the middle. You know what I mean? Get some pass rush up the middle and kind of force him to have to, get the ball out faster than he wants to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the Bills now, I think, Douglas probably won't play a lot, but I think coverage-wise, the Bills have shown that they can play at a level where they can make Joe Burrow go through a couple of reads before he gets the ball out. And if that's the case, you just got to put pressure on him. He's gonna he's thrown 4 picks already. He's going to throw picks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's looking like Josh Allen. He's going to throw picks, but he could make a big play too. So
right. You gotta hope the percentages are in your favor at that point, because as good of a quarterback as he is, you can't think that your defensive scheme is going to be what destroys him or something like that. He's too good. Mm-hmm. So play the percentages, take your chances where you can, and man, put pressure on him.
Yeah. You got it. Yeah, I was looking at the receivers while you're talking about passing the ball and making plays. Jamar Chase is just killing you in screens. He's killing people in from outside. He's making people miss. He's
Yeah.
So this is a team that you definitely have to tackle.
Yep.
As a team, I think we talked earlier. I forget what game it was, but we missed 20 tackles in one game. They missed 27 in the whole season. So
Poyer, if you try to shoulder pop somebody one more time, bro, like, you my dude, stop it. I don't know how many times I've seen this man try to lay the wood on somebody and they just bounce off of it and keep running.
That was Milano's issue too. That was Milano's issue all the time.
Like, what? Mm-hmm. Nobody cares if you have a big hit during the game, but you lost, or the team still scored 30 points on you and it was a shootout. Mm-hmm. Like, that big hit that you had during the game, that highlight hit, nobody cares about that if it was a close game. Nobody cares about that if on that same series where they got popped, they still go down and score a touchdown.
And chances are you're going to get a personal foul anyway, so you may as well stop.
Exactly. So stop it to begin with.
It's just an easier tackle. I'm not going to say to make. It's just an easier tackle for self-preservation. That's why they do it. That's exactly why they do it. Because you ain't got to worry about shoulders. You ain't got to worry about elbow. You ain't got to worry about your chest. They just, ball up and try to just smack somebody. That's go low, whatever the case may be, and that's what they do.
And I get it, but like,
no, I'm not. I don't get it. Man. I don't get it. I'm just saying that's why they do it, and it's lazy.
Stupid.
It's lazy.
It's late. That's exactly what it is. Lazy. And I get, okay, think about it like this: if, and this is tough too, because you want players that you pay, starters that you pay, to be on the field, but I want the players to play a style of football that's going to win the game and dominate the game. Mm-hmm. And if that means you got to wrap up and tackle, I'm not preaching none of this availability is your best ability.
No.
I'm preaching technique, smarts, and being a dog on the field, knowing enough to when it's the right time to go make a play, or when you know what I mean, like that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking at. Like,
and that's where I'm going with McDermott. I said it a couple of times. For McDermott, you always talk about discipline,
right?
But this is your unit now. You're the defensive coach, yep. And your unit is terrible in discipline. Whether it be gap integrity, whether it be tackling, whether it be a stop on third down, you're just not good at it. Right. It's fun to watch an aggressive defense, I suppose. But like you just said, I want to watch the defense that wins.
Exactly. And instead of saying, I got to coach better, he just takes players off the field. He's
field.
Still young.
Yep.
He still needs more time to grow and develop.
Somebody asked Beane earlier today, how do you feel about Sean McDermott's coaching so far with the defensive coordinator and head coaching hat? And, I mean, you can go ahead and stop because he said, I think Sean's doing a hell of a job. No, I really do. I really do. I'm like, what else is he going to say? Like you say all the time, it's his boss. You can't. I'm gonna go right. Yo, you're garbage.
How do you think your boss is performing? Like,
go to hell. You suck. It's not going to happen.
I've been waiting to be asked this question. Right. Let me tell you something about MFer.
So I'm saying, like, it wasn't the worst question I ever heard, but it was like, what do you think he's going to say? What do you think?
Right.
And if you ask Diggs or somebody like that, he's going to give you a somewhat company line, but he's going to tell you what do you want. That's why he never gets interviewed.
Right.
He almost never gets interviewed.
Diggs going to be like, you know what? I love Sean. I think he's a great guy. I think. Yeah. With his bucket hat and everything. He was sitting aside. Sean, if you're watching this, I think you.
He'd be like, yo, I'm done with this interview. Y'all done. I got my jacket. I'm about to go skiing or something. But yeah, I'm looking at, while we're talking, I'm looking at the receivers, and it looks like Jamar Chase is the show. So far, so
Higgins
good.
really hasn't come back, to what he was last year.
No. Which, I mean, whatever.
He was injured.
He was injured. He had the chest, broken ribs or whatever it was.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase is he's as advertised.
At least we don't have to worry about. Oh my gosh. Okay, don't nobody kill my character for saying this, but thank God that Trey White is not playing in this game.
Can I kill your character for that?
Yes.
I have nothing to say. I just want to say that.
Oh, you just want to kill my character?
Yeah, I just want to kill your character. No good reason. No, you're right. You're right.
He struggles against big receivers in general.
Oh, he's always.
You know what I mean? So I don't, and usually that's the guy that they have Trey White covering.
Yeah,
right.
And they were starting to shadow with Trey White.
Yeah.
So
against T Higgins, and then let whoever else it was not Levi Wallace, Dane Jackson. Try and cover Jamar Chase. Okay, fine. If you're going to bracket him and double team him the whole game, okay, cool. But you got to know that Trey White can handle T Higgins.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying?
So
that's why I'm just I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I am glad that the guy that struggles against big receivers.
I think that's fair to say. I mean, you didn't say anything crazy. There's so many different things you could have said, but no, I think you're absolutely right. I think
I could have said retarded on the.
You could have
on the show,
and then I would have got canceled with you.
But I didn't say that. I didn't have to apologize during the live shooting.
I would have got canned right with you.
Right.
No, I mean, not T Higgins. Jamar Chase is 50 receptions for 586 yards and 4 touchdowns so far. So I mean, that's who they're going after. They're trying to get him involved. And I mean, obviously, why would they do that? Because he's just that good. And actually, I misspoke. He's 60 receptions for 656 yards and 4 touchdowns.
That boy getting the ball.
Yeah, he gets the ball. He's 60 receptions. I think Diggs is 64. So that tells you where he is with it. But outside of Jamar Chase, I mean, you're looking at the usual suspects. Who's their tight end?
I don't know who their tight end is.
Let's take a
Drew
look.
Sample? Oh, Irv Smith Jr.
Irv Smith Jr., Tanner Hudson.
Yeah. They don't throw to the tight end this
Mitchell
year.
Wilcox,
They
really don't.
This year.
Don't.
It's their run game and Jamar Chase. That's been their offense the whole season.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Drew Sample too as their tight end. So
yep.
But you look at who they have in their last hurrah, perhaps, because these guys are coming up on contracts. And one thing you got to realize when you have a franchise quarterback, some of the other luxuries have to go bye-bye. And T. Higgins has earned number one contract money. Jamar Chase dang sure earned number one contract money. Tyler Boyd, he's older now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 29. So I think
he's in the last year of his contract.
Yeah, I was gonna say he might be. He might look at something more like a number 2 or a team friendly structure deal where he gets more, but it doesn't look as bad.
I think if they and their head coach is an offensive guy, so he may prioritize trying to keep these receivers around. But if they are able to reach an amicable deal with T. Higgins, then I think Boyd is gone. But if they can't get something done with Higgins, then I think Boyd becomes that reliable guy on third downs that they fall back on next year. They'll probably give him a team friendly deal or something like that just to keep him around.
Yeah, and lastly for the team, I was going to say you're looking at their offensive line, which really isn't even that great. Obvious and evident by Joe Burrow releasing the ball in 2.4 seconds. If you're looking at their offensive line, their best offensive lineman, Jonah Williams right now.
He's their right tackle, right?
Yeah, he's the right tackle.
And he's got the short arms, too. Russo should eat against this guy.
Yeah, he does. And that's the thing. I don't want to see Russo playing patty cake. I don't want to see what I saw against Tampa Bay. If anybody had a chance to go back and look at the All-22, it was evident on the All-22 that he didn't use the pass rush move. He just kind of tried to push through.
Is he dealing with an injury now? He wasn't on the injury report.
No, he's not. He's getting over something. He had, what do you have? I forget what he had. Calf or something like that.
Yeah, it was. I think it was something lower body like that. But I mean, it makes sense because you're right. He wasn't himself in the Tampa game. There were times where you can see him bull rushing, but once he got close enough to the quarterback to try and stretch and make a play, he just kind of stopped.
It wasn't happening. That wasn't Rousseau-esque. Even though I don't give him a lot of credit for his pass rush ability, he can get to the quarterback, but I don't think that his success in that regard is really up for it, on his own merit.
Right.
I think it's a lot of the cornerbacks, defensive backs, linebackers plugging the lanes, and the quarterback can't find a receiver. He doesn't know if he should go or should he stay, and then Russo just kind of finds his way home. But like we said, Jonah Williams and Ted Karras is their center. Outside of those two, you're looking at average or below. Average or below. They have Cody Ford, actually. Cody Ford is a backup tackle. I forgot he was there. So, I mean, all the signs on paper, we should win the game. But, like you said,
somehow people play their best games against us. And we shrink against Cincinnati for some reason. Yeah. And and this is going to be me being insensitive. I do not want to hear anything about going back to Cincinnati for the first time since the incident. I don't. I wanted to ask you about that. Why don't you want to hear about that?
We talked about it before, but I mean, it's a cop out. It's a cop out in my mind. Like we talked about, when they asked, I think it was Jordan Poyer, how was it to see Damar Hamlin in a game? He said, we see him in practice every day. It is. I mean, it's old now, And I take offense when they call it the Damar Hamlin game. I hate that. Yeah, that's insensitivity. That's insensitivity. And people don't think about it. The Hamlin game, just call it what it is. No contest. Cincinnati last week. Whatever. You don't need to put his name into it. In the same way they talked about the ambulance or whatever it was when they zoomed in on Hamlin when the guy got, who was it last week? Not last week, 2 weeks ago when, who was it? Who got hurt? Was it? Who did they? Harris. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to tread so lightly. It's not like you're going to hurt the guy. He knows what happened. He was around for it. He lived it. Right. But I don't want to hear about people talking about, oh yeah, this is a year ago today. Obviously it wasn't, or whatever. Last season the Bills are returning. No, if you want to, let's talk about the loss in the playoff game.
It's going to be a narrative because
of course it is.
This is the first time the Bills have been back in Cincinnati.
Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is.
I do want to say this though. And I'm not trying to sway your opinion or anything like that, but I do think for all of these players to have gone through what is widely considered a traumatic experience, I think anybody standing there watching something like that, I've seen that before. Working at the mission. Yep. I've seen that a couple of times now where someone had to be resuscitated, and it's striking. It is something that sticks with you, and I get what you're saying completely from the standpoint of that was a year ago. You hopefully have done the work necessary to to heal from that experience and get yourself to a position mentally where you are able to go and focus just on the football game. But I think to a degree there has to be a level of mercy if they don't, right? There has to be a level of understanding that of a very traumatic experience for people who don't typically go through traumatic experiences at the workplace, especially, to have to go back to the place where it happened. I could understand if there were some players that when they got there experienced a flashback or experienced a psychological effect of being in that place that they didn't think held as much of a space in their hearts or in their minds as it does when they get there, right? I think those are things that are kind of unforeseen things. Do I want to sit there and say, it's okay if they lose this game? No, I don't. I'm with you from that perspective.
I think that's kind of where I'm going. I don't want to hear after the game, because the first question you're going to have, do you think that what happened last year had an impact on you guys today? Was it in the back of your mind? I don't want to hear that. I mean, the same way I highly doubt when Damar Hamlin comes out of the tunnel on Sunday night, they're going to give a standing ovation and give a tribute to him on the board.
They might,
but I doubt it. I mean, they could.
You don't think they would?
I don't think they will.
I think the second he walks out of there, it's going to be a standing ovation.
We'll see. I hope so, but I just, from what I've seen in the comments on Cincinnati websites, I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, like you said, the workplace, yeah, same thing. I've seen people not come back from it. You know, I've seen people that the last time it happened, they were talking to me.
Right.
You know, but you know, like I said, yeah, there's a human element to it. But this is also a football game. We got to play.
Right.
You know, we got to play, or we demolish the stadium and move it somewhere downstream.
If you're allowing Stephon Diggs to lead the team will be mentally ready.
Yes.
Because even after the ambulance left the field,
with tears in his eyes, he's motivating the troops. He's getting the troops
one
ready.
of those guys saying, "Look, we still got to go do our thing. Let's do it for him."
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or however we need to get it done. Let's just find a way to pull it out and let's go get it done. Now, I am also the guy who said in the offseason, the playoff game and how that went, and for the players to talk about how emotionally exhausted they were, how mentally exhausted they were, and how everything that happened throughout the season just kind of wore on them. I think to some degree there does need to be a higher level of mental toughness. And that's not to be insensitive towards anything that, you know, anybody's, you know, in particular is going through.
It's just the truth.
But
yeah,
when you're in the position that they are, where you're being paid to do a job, I'll put it like this. A regular 9 to 5 is going to give you how many days for bereavement?
1.
You get 1.
1.
Right? If you are an NFL football player and you have a death in the family or something like that, and you go to your job and you don't perform your job well, people are, it's okay. It's all right. You're probably not going to get that at your 9 to 5.
Mm-mm.
Your 9 to 5 is going to be like, yo, we gave you your day off.
Mm-hmm.
We're paying.
We want
you
our
to do a
documentation.
right. We want the pamphlet with the picture on the.
Your uncle died. I want to see. I want to see obituaries. Bring it in.
Exactly.
Let me see it.
Exactly. Now, this is the harsh reality. This is what we're talking about right now. Like real life ain't fair. Real life at times ain't pretty. And it is what it is. Do we want there to be, this realm where, it's okay to, to feel bad for the players, and, when they don't win, we can attribute that stuff to, the emotional and mental issues? Yeah, because it feels better to do that. Mm-hmm. But the reality of it is, you're right. This is a game that the Bills need to win more than any other game on the schedule this season. They need this game. Yeah. This for them should be the AFC Championship game.
It really is.
It has to be, because if you cannot get over this hump, I don't see this team being able to do it in the playoffs.
You can't afford another AFC loss.
Well, that's the other part of it too. Yeah. Because I think you've only got 2 more NFC teams on the schedule.
Yep.
After that, you got to win every game if you lose this one.
Yep.
And that's just unrealistic to think that they're going to do that, even if they did do it a year ago.
Right.
So, or was it a year ago or 2 years ago that they won like the last 7?
2 years ago.
Right, it's 2 years ago. So, it's like I agree and I disagree. I think there like you said, there's a level of humanity that goes into the thought process that where you want to be understanding, but man, this is such a big game. That can't be the excuse at the end of the game. And I think that's what you were really trying to say, is that that cannot be the excuse for why they lost.
Yep.
If and I think Sean McDermott needs to be conscious of this too. If a guy is out there and he mentally just doesn't have it,
you gotta
sit him down.
Yeah,
you have to. I don't care if he's a starter.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's Josh Allen.
Right.
If he's out there and he's not mentally right, you gotta sit him down.
Yeah.
Right. I never want Kyle Allen on the field, but he wasn't here last year. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
man.
even if you got him out there to hand the ball off 3 plays in a row while Josh Allen gathers himself on the sideline, do that.
Yeah, please.
Right? But the last thing I need out there is Josh about to hike the ball and he got a single tear falling down his face.
He's throwing interceptions, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That,
Yeah,
like
can't have
that to me can't happen.
Can't have that.
But, you know, I mean, this is it's a scary game because of what's at stake.
Yep.
Right? For the Bills to be able to slay this dragon, and really the Bengals have become the new dragon for the Bills to slay, because the Chiefs, you know, especially this year, their offense is nowhere near what it used to be. But the Chiefs, we've beaten them twice in the regular season, you know, so it's like we've already shown that we can beat you guys, and in the playoffs we were 13 seconds away from beating you guys, and that was probably the second best game that the Chiefs have ever played in their playoff history too. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, they still had Tyreek Hill on that team, right? So that for me is enough to say, you know what, if we see them again, it's going to be a good game, but I think we can win. The Bengals have been a team since last year where you look at that team and you look at the way that they play defensively and offensively, and you say, I don't think we can beat that team.
Right.
Right? And going into the game this year, I think I'm trying to be positive, okay? But I still think this is a team that, you know, people might be underestimating and saying, well, their record is this, they're 4th in a division, their defense has been this, and they're not taking into context what has created the stats that exist now around this team. You know, it's injuries, it's you know, all the different things that happen because of injuries that have created this scenario now where we have this storyline going into this game. This is not the same Bengals team. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And they're getting healthier. They showed that last week, right? Name one player that they have that is a key contributor on that offense that is not going to be able to show up on Sunday. They don't have one.
Nope.
Same thing on defense. They don't have one key contributor that's not going to be able to show up. All of their guys are getting healthier, right? Not only that, but they've strung together 3 wins in a row. They're on a streak. This team is getting hot.
Yeah.
So if you think that you just going to beat the Bills and march in there on Sunday night and just take their manhood from them, listen, you got to be ready for a dogfight mentally. You have to. And you better be ready to win that dogfight.
Right.
You better be ready to claw, scratch, whatever you got. You know what I mean? And as a fan, watching the game, don't sit down on that couch and be mad when the Bills don't score on their first series. Don't be mad when the Bills can't stop the Bengals from scoring on their first 2 series. Right? You just got to understand that's probably where this is going to be going. And if it doesn't, great. You know? But with that said, we gotta get out of here. My man, you on point. You turning the speakers on and all that.
It's about to happen, but
no.
If you see an Explorer going, that's me. Don't worry about it.
I did want to ask you this before we close up. What is your score prediction? How do you see the game going?
You're gonna hate me for this one, but I'm seeing I'm gonna say 28. I'm gonna say 28-17 Cincinnati.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, 28-17 Cincinnati.
You got Cincy winning?
Yeah.
Wow.
For the reason what you said earlier.
Wow.
From getting small against a team that they should be able to beat. Now, if they win, I'll be very happy. But I need to see them show up against a good team.
That is shocking. You know why that's shocking?
Because you said the same thing.
Cause I got the Bills taking this game, baby.
Ooh.
I got the Bills winning this one. I'm gonna say, listen, I don't know why. I don't know why. I just got a feeling, and I hope it's right. If I'm right, I'm gonna be in here lit on Monday.
I'll be lit with
But
you.
I got the Bills taking this one 31-21.
I want to be wrong. 31-21?
31-21.
I want to be wrong. I want to be happy because we got to be here on Monday.
Right, it's gonna be hell to pay on Monday.
And I don't want to be. Yeah, I don't want to deal with. We don't even take calls or anything. I just don't want to deal with it.
All right, live chat will be open on Monday. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. We hope that that's clear for y'all. We ain't got no sodium towards this team. We just call it like we see it. But with that said, thank you very much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Make that thing ring-a-lang-a-lang. With that little bell.
Make that thing ring-a-lang.
and you know, for the Post Podium Podcast, I've been your co-host Aramis.
Just Key.
And we are out.